What's up guys, FendiYT here, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to get 6,000 arena points. If you aren't already in Champions Division, you should hurry up because when they announce the next tournament, it's going to be a lot harder to get into Champs. So the first thing you want to do is go to lootlake.info before you even get into the game, and you want to look for a heavily uncontested spot where it's only going to be you or another opponent coming there. So as you can see, this is my drop spot right here, and it has lots of chests. And you could also drop here or here, but it's usually uncontested. In Champs League, it sometimes has more than one person here, but it's very uncontested. It has lots of fishing holes where you can get fish, and you also have an upgrade bench. Okay, so these are the fishing holes. You have 13 fishing holes here, and you also have an upgrade bench right here where I land at. But first I land here, and I just rotate over to here. And there's an upgrade bench, so you just want to make sure you have a lot of metal, wood, and brick so you can upgrade. And if you find a llama, that's a bonus because you don't have to worry about match then. And then I usually like to fish in these holes over here. If you're going for a lot of points, another thing you want to take advantage of is Prefight Damage. Prefight Damage is when you get tags on an opponent before the fight even starts. If you aren't getting Prefight Damage, then you're probably the one that got snuck up on and the one that got shot first, which you don't want happening because you have a much higher chance of losing the fight. Now this way is risky, but it's also another way to get free points. You want to land around the middle of the map inside of a tree, and you can also sit there and you could get free points while everyone else is losing and they're getting sent back to the lobby, while you're the only one that's just sitting in the tree camping and you're getting free points out of the whole lobby. Now it's pretty risky because you have a high chance of not finding good loot after you do this strategy. But if you see people that get into a fight in front of you, you can become very lucky because 9 times out of 10, the person that died is going to have extra loot for you to pick up or for anyone else to pick up. So if there's loot there, you're going to be good for the rest of the game, but you might still need a few mats to farm. But as you can see, sitting in a tree does work, and it is a good strategy to get points. During mid-game, this is your opportunity to get as many materials as possible and to rotate safely. Now if someone does shoot you, like you get shot from the back, you just want to wait for an opportunity for a third party to come up to you, and you just want to camp in a box, and the chances are they're going to go for the other person because they don't see you and you're inside of a box. And while they are in an aggressive fight, you just want to make a run for it and you want to escape before they can get to you. Alright guys, don't forget to like and comment on this video because it does help with the YouTube algorithm, and it does help push out this video more and more. So the more you like and comment, the more it helps. The more chance I have of getting this video in the search engine and the results, like in ranking. So yeah, so some more tips I have for you guys is to try to stay in front of the zone. If you're in front of the zone, you could be looking for picks coming from the back of the zone, or you can just be sitting in the back of the zone if you have a launch pad or a grappler, and you could look for picks in the storm easily that way. If you're staying in front of the zone, there's going to be no one else there to contest you for picks or that you have to worry about shooting you from the side or behind you. So if you stay in front of everyone, then you could just try to pick people rotating into zone. Now another tip I have for you guys is to rotate early. So what I mean by that is to go to zone quicker than you usually do if you take a long time. Try not to break too much mats and just try to be in the center zone or close to the center zone, but not exactly in the center around every single time until the 5th zone comes up, because the 5th zone is going to be a half zone or a moving zone, which means that it's going to move away from you. If you get, say if you're in the middle of the map, you have a high chance of the zone not being where you are. So it's better to just sit on the edge of zone and wait for zone and try to predict it and see if it's going to come to you or not, because lots of times you'll be surprised how many times you actually get the zone. So just using your awareness and map knowledge and playing scrims, you will learn that you can predict zones most of the time, and the 5th zone always is a moving zone. So yeah, that's another tip I have for you guys. So another thing is, don't forget about your utility items. That can be your grappler, that can be a launch pad, or that could be the new bounce pads that's added into the game. But I personally think the new bounce pads are really cool because they take you about half as long as a launch pad probably would, and they're really easy for carry, and they're really easy. You could just throw them down and they can get you out of a sticky situation, like inside of Salty, and there's like a whole squad on you and you place it and you might be able to break through the top of the roof with it. So don't forget about what utility you have, like a shockwave, but they took those out of the game, unfortunately. But yeah, if you have utility, that can easily go to an opponent if they end up killing you, or if you die in zone or something. And like, don't forget if you have floppers, because there's been countless times that people forgot what they had in their inventory and it made them die. Even me, I made that mistake too, so don't forget about that. What you can do to greatly improve your performance is to upgrade your setup. Now, with anything in life, if you upgrade it, you're always probably going to get the better end out of it. So if you have like a really old gaming computer, I highly advise you to upgrade that, because how are you going to play in a competitive game mode and your computer is really old? You might as well be playing on a console or a mobile. So if you're gonna have a PC, I recommend trying to get the best PC you can get, even if you have to trade your console for a PC, because that's what I did, if you really want to take competitive Fortnite seriously. But at least they started adding tournaments where console and mobile and all platforms can play tournaments. Now you can also upgrade your monitor if it's not as good as you want it to be. Like 144 hertz is really good if you're on PC, and you don't really need much higher than 60 if you're on console. But it might make it smoother, but it won't make a big difference. So you definitely should upgrade your setup, and you will see an improvement almost instantly. Now, one thing that I recommend you to do is to VOD review. Whether that's VOD reviewing your own games or other pros to add more moves into your arsenal, I definitely recommend you to VOD review. It'll probably be more beneficial if you to VOD review yourself and learn what you did wrong and learn what you did right, so you can continue that into the next game if you did something right and it helps you win the game. And I definitely recommend VOD reviewing other pro players, because you can learn things from them and learn their strategies and their tendencies, what they do to make them so good at the game. Or people that are in Champions League. I recently got into Champions League, and another tip is play hype nights, because when you play hype nights, it gives you a lot of arena points. And it's my first time playing a hype night. I went from 5,720 points to 6,100 something. So it definitely will help you if you play hype nights. And if you're like afraid to lose points and you're really close to champs, I definitely recommend grinding them hype nights and landing salty, or at a really a PLI that's really contested, because that's where you can get a lot of the kills at, and you can continue it on to the other games. And if you really want to get as much points, I wouldn't recommend this way, but if you want to play against like the worst players, then I recommend, well, one thing you can do is to like land at a hot drop, and if you can't find people, or if the amount of people gets low, you could go back to the lobby and find other people until you only have a couple games left, and those last games are where you can go for placement and go for points and not hot drop. Now, even if you have like 40 points, you could still hot drop. It just might be a little harder, by the way, but the hype nights are really easy, and you can get so many points. You get about 600 points for top 5%, and it's really easy to get on a hype night. Alright, if you made it this far, comment potato, just so I could see who made it this far into the video, and so I could like your comment and just see like who made it this far. The rest of the people in the comment section will probably be confused, but it'll be funny because they won't realize what's happening until they watch the rest of the video. Alright, one of the biggest tips I can give you is to reserve your mats for in-game. So whether that's sitting in a big bush or camping inside of a building or whatever you do, just try to save your mats so you don't have to replenish them later in the in-game as much. And one way you can do that is by finding a really good spot in zone. And like say you find a bunch of brick piles laying around, you can just farm those bricks after building one by one around them. And that's a really efficient way to save mats, or get most of your mats back, so that you can be protected while also having your material still. So that's a really big way. That's a really big thing that you guys need to know, and you need to learn that your mats are going to be very important, because you're going to be getting spammed a lot in the end game. So make sure that you're preserving mats. Alright, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. But yeah, the last tip I have for you is to look for impact frags / picks in the end game. As you can see, he's doing right here, he's looking for picks. He doesn't need impact frags because he has a lot of mats already. But you have to always look for people in zone to kill. That's why I said stay in front of the zone. And as you can see, he's behind the zone, so he has to rotate, and you don't really want to be in that position. So always try to stay in front of the zone. But that's the end of this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one.